Hello and welcome. In the next minutes, we will dive into the process of how to onboard your macOS devices into Microsoft Defender for Endpoint with the help of Intune. We will kick off this video with creating system configuration profiles. This will also be the foundation of this video. We will meticulously go through how to set up the system extensions, network filter, full disk access, background services, and notifications for MDE. Importantly, I will also show you recommendations and, of course, best practices by Microsoft on how to configure Defender for Endpoint on macOS, including critical aspects like tamper protection. Next up, we will smoothly transition to downloading the onboarding package. This step is absolutely vital as it involves obtaining the necessary components from the Microsoft Security Center to onboard your macOS devices. Rest assured, I will guide you through accessing and downloading the packages, ensuring you have all the right tools in hand. Once the package is firmly in place, we will proceed to verify the onboarding status. Now, this is the part where we ensure that the integration is not just complete, but also successful. We will diligently check the status in both the Intune portal and on the macOS devices themselves, making sure that the communication between your device and Defender for Endpoint is active and functioning exactly as intended. Finally, and this is a crucial one, we will cover checking the Defender agent on the device. This step is paramount for confirming that the Defender agent is not only installed, but is also operating correctly on your macOS device. Together, we will walk through how to verify the agent's functionality and, just as importantly, troubleshoot any common issues if needed. In the Intune portal, let's go to your devices, select macOS and go to the configuration profiles inside macOS. And we will first create the system extensions profile to ensure that Defender functions correctly. Let's click on create new policy. Profile type is templates. And then on the template, we will select extensions and click on create. Let's give this profile a name. You can name it how you want, but in my case, I will name it MDE system extension. On the second page is where the fun begins. Click on System Extensions and there is the option to write in the bundle identifier, which we will copy and paste from the Microsoft Docs. So let me do this real quick. Great. Now after copy pasting both identifiers, we just need to click through the other pages, but don't forget to assign this profile to your macOS devices or users. Now that we have created the system extension configuration profile, let's get back to the Microsoft Docs, find the GitHub repository link, and in there you will see multiple mobile config files, which you will all have to download. And those are basically templates provided by Microsoft for MDE configurations. And after downloading them, you can go back to the Intune portal, create a new policy, select template as profile type, and then select custom. Let's start by setting up the network filter. Proceed by selecting create. Now let's assign a name to our profile. In this case, let's name it MDE network filter. Moving forward to the next page, we have to name this configuration. I'm sticking with MDE network filter to match the profile name. Now upload the netfilter.mobileconfig file, which we have downloaded earlier from the GitHub repository. Then click on next. And finally, we have to assign this profile to a group of devices. Now save and close this profile. Up next is the full disk access, so click on create new policy. Select the templates profile type and then click on custom. Great, now let's give this a name, which will be MDE full disk access in my case, but you can name it how you want to. So let's give this configuration a name. And again, I will stick with the profile name, which is MDE full disk access in my case. And then let's upload the full disk.mobileconfig file and then click on next. Now we have to assign this policy to a group of devices, click select and then save the policy. Moving on to the background services, click on create new policy, then select templates in a profile type and select custom. Click on create. Great, so let's name this configuration profile. I will name it MDE background services. Click on next. Let's name the configuration. I will stick with the profile name, which is MDE background services in my case. Let's select the background services mobile config file, which we have downloaded earlier. Click on next. And then we have to assign this configuration profile to a group of devices. Now save the profile. We are almost done. Now create a new policy. Select the templates type again. Select custom and then click on create. In this part, we will configure the notifications profile for MDE. So I will call this configuration profile MDE notifications. Now let's give this configuration a name. I will call this again MDE notifications and then select the notif.mobileconfig file. Click on next. And now assign a group of devices to this profile and then save the policy. Finally, create the accessibility settings. Click on new policy, select the templates profile type, click on custom. And then we will give this profile a name. In this case, let's name it MDE Accessibility Settings. Click on Next. Great. Now let's give this configuration a name. I'm sticking again with the profile name. So it's MDE Accessibility Settings. Now let's import the accessibility mobile config file and then click on Next and then assign this profile to a group of devices and then save the profile. Awesome. Now let's create the settings part of MDE. And there's already a recommended profile by Microsoft, which we will have to copy and save as a XML file on our disk. Let's now create a new policy. Select templates under profile type and then select custom. Now let's give this a name. I will call it MDE settings. Great, and now this part is important. You have to name it like I do here, which is com.microsoft.wdav. Now import this XML file. And then click on Next. Now assign this policy to a group of devices and then save the profile. Now we have to install the Microsoft Defender application. So let's go to the applications and click on Add. There is already a finished package for us and we have to assign this to the same group of devices that we have the settings assigned to. Great, now we have to wait a second to let it save and now open a new tab. Go to the Defender portal at security.microsoft.com where we will have to download the onboarding package for the macOS devices. So scroll to the bottom to settings and in there select endpoints. Then at the bottom of the page there's the onboarding option. Click on it. Now we have to select macOS from the drop-down menu. And under deployment methods, let's change it to Microsoft Intune and then click on download onboarding package. This will download a very small zip file to your device, including a XML file for the onboarding package. So let's get back to the Intune portal, devices, macOS, and then configuration profiles. Click on create new policy, select the templates profile type, and then click on custom. Let's give this profile name a name, which is in my case MDE Onboarding. Click on Next. And then configuration name will be the same as the profile name, which is MDE Onboarding. Now select the XML file inside the downloaded zip file and click on Upload. Click on Next. And then we just have to assign this to the same device group and then save the configuration profile. Let's go to the security portal now at security.microsoft.com, and then on the left side, the device option. And there you should already see your devices if everything has been successful so far. And if you click on one of the devices, you should already see the data that has been gathered by the Defender agent on the Mac. And on the left side at the bottom should be a little flag called Managed by Intune. That looks great. And let's now check out the security recommendations, which also looks good. Let's explore now how this looks on the device itself. With MDE Health in the terminal, we can check out or get an overview about all the settings. And for example, timer protection is in block mode, and we can also see that the necessary updates are installed. And with MDE connectivity test, we can check if the device is able to reach the necessary services at Microsoft. For example, they have to be reachable or accessible for the macOS device to update the signatures. Great. Now let's look at the agent itself. On the top right, we can open the Microsoft Defender, and there's a little overview about the latest updates installed. And then if you go to the settings, we can see that tamper protection is active, meaning the user can't edit any settings of Defender. And that's a wrap on our journey through onboarding macOS devices to Microsoft Defender for Endpoint with Intune. I really hope you found this guide helpful. If there's anything you're not sure about, or if you've got extra insights, please drop a comment below. I'd love to hear from you, and it helps others too. Before you go, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell. It's the best way to keep up with the new videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to see you in the next video.